SMSD dress using a balance assistance harness. The criteria for dress is that when prompted, the dog willingly puts their head through the harness and remains static while it is buckled. While buckling the harness, the dog's chest should be touching the upper inside of your right thigh. This ensures that the dog is as close as possible so that you do not have to bend forward and reach out to buckle the harness. In preparation to dress the dog, here are a few key points to notice in the next video. Number 1, handler uses encouragement to bring the dog to her and applies the leash to the flat collar. Number 2, handler steps on the end of the leash. Number 3, the treat pouch has been moved to the right hip. Number 4, the handler sits on the edge of the chair. The handler gives encouragement, attaches the leash to the flat collar. She then steps on the end of her leash and moves to the edge of her chair. This dog is eagerly waiting to enter his equipment. The handler instructs the dog to sit so that she can present the harness correctly. The handler should maintain an upright posture without leaning forward. The harness should be held out straight and motionless without pushing it towards the dog's head. The dog should willingly enter the harness upon receiving the cue. Additionally, the handler should sit at the edge of their chair with their knees and feet wide apart to provide ample room for the dog to approach the harness. Ensure the red cape is held with the handle, keeping the harness opening clear. The leash is attached to the flat collar. She steps on the end of the leash. Since this dog is eager to perform, she gives the sit cue so she can prepare her body to present the harness and give the dress cue.
Dress. Yes.
In the next video, the treat pouch has been moved to the back of her right hip. The reward is presented over her right thigh at the hip. This puts the canine in the proper position for the harness to be buckled. The behavior is marked with yes when his ears have passed through the harness.
Yes.
She sets the harness on his withers before reaching for the treat. Rewarding duration can reinforce the idea that staying still is desirable while securing the harness. In the next video, notice how the handler uses her right hand to push the strap under the canine's belly. She grabs the strap with her left hand, then uses both hands on the same side to finish buckling. This prevents the handler from leaning over the top of his head, which can cause discomfort for the canine. Using her right hand, she places each strap one at a time under the dog's belly and secures it with her left hand. Both hands are then used to buckle the harness on the same side. The dog can be rewarded for staying in position while the harness is being buckled. Good. Petting and praise can also reinforce the dog for maintaining the desired position. The next clip will demonstrate the buckling of the harness. Notice how she pushes the strap under the dog's belly with her right hand, secures it with her left, and then uses both hands to buckle the strap on the same side of the dog. She ensures that the harness is properly positioned on his withers before buckling it. Notice how she uses her right hand to slide each strap under the dog's belly while securing it with her left hand. Both hands are employed to buckle the harness on the same side. We have discovered that this method is the most effective for being minimally intrusive to the dog's space.
Good boy.
Now to remove the harness. Sit at the edge of the chair. Keep legs apart so that the canine can come in close for you to unbuckle. He should be in the same position to remove the harness that he was to apply it. You can pat your upper right thigh and give verbal encouragement to bring him in close. His chest should be touching your inner right thigh. The canine should remain still and in close contact to be undressed. Once you have released the buckles, use your hands on either side of the harness, lift up, and say "okay." The dog should back out of the harness. Do not pull the harness over his head. The handler encouraged the dog with a gentle pat on the thigh to bring him in close. He stays still as she unbuckles the harness. She gathers the cape to the handle, lifts the harness off his shoulders, and gives the release cue, okay. The dog backs out of the harness and the handler praises him. There is no need for a food reward. The removal of the harness is the reward itself.
Good.
The final video demonstrates a more relaxed dog preparing to dress. The dog does not have to be prompted to stand in front of the handler. They should perform the task on cue from any position while on leash. See the dog perform on cue from the down position coming from the side of the handler. Observe how the handler prepares the harness by folding the red cape towards the handle, ensuring that the opening remains clear. She holds the end of the leash instead of stepping on it, which is appropriate. By maintaining control of the leash, the handler can manage the dog in case it attempts to move away from the harness.
Dress.
The dog quickly responds to the cue dress. After rewarding him, she notices that the dog's chest is not touching her leg, so she encourages him to come in closer. Once he is positioned correctly, she buckles the harness to complete the dressing process. This dog has successfully met the criteria for dress with the balance assistance harness. Remember to ensure that your leash is not caught under the harness. If you are facing challenges in dressing your dog with their equipment, we strongly encourage you to reach out to an SMSD trainer for assistance.